Customer. Found a lady downtown working the late shift. I walked in smiling like God's greatest gift. Smooth hair combed back, cheap cologne in the air. Spent 20 minutes practicing my stare. Look at me, thought I was charming, thought I had game, thought she'd be impressed when she learned my name. I leaned in close, said, "Girl, do me a favor." What happened next still gives me a fever, oh no. I said, "Say my name," she yelled, "Customer." Next in line, I said, "Come on now, you know who I am," she yelled, "Customer." Cash only, I wanted passion, I wanted desire. She treated me like a guy changing a tire. I said, "Say my name," she yelled, "Customer." "Thank you for your business." I asked, "Do you think about me when I'm gone?" She said, "Buddy, how long have you been on?" Damn. I said, "Am I special?" She started to grin, then pulled out a notebook and checked me in. Page 7. There was Dave, there was Mike, there was Larry and Steve, a dude named Carl who forgot to leave. I asked, "Which one am I?" Trying not to cry, she said, "Hold on, champ, there's 45. Jesus. I said, "Say my name," she yelled, "Customer." Frequent flyer. I said, "Come on now, you know who I am," she yelled, "Customer." Cash only, I wanted passion, I wanted desire. She treated me like a guy changing a tire. I said, "Say my name," she yelled, "Customer." "Thank you for your business." I bought flowers. Bad idea. I wrote a poem. Worse idea. She asked if I wanted an appointment. Ouch. I said, "Do you miss me?" She said, "Sir, please stop blocking the couch." Security. I said, "What do we have?" She said, "A transaction fax." I said, "That hurts." She said, "That'll be extra." Cold-blooded. Tried calling her late just to hear her voice. She answered, "Press 1 for service choice. Press 2 for schedule and press 3 for rates. Press 4 if you're outside the gates." Professional. I hit 0, hoping she'd pick up the phone. The machine said, "Customer, leave it alone." Hang it up. That's when I knew deep down in my soul I was basically a walking payroll. That's rough. I said, "Say my name," she yelled, "Customer." Whole damn room started laughing at me. I said, "At least use my first name once," she yelled, "Customer." Company powers, I wanted romance, I wanted a spark. She handed me a receipt and pointed to the park. I said, "Say my name," she yelled, "Customer." No refunds, and that's the moment my ego died. Now every time I hear a cash register ring, I get a little nervous about everything. Some men get heartbreak, some men get burned. I got called customer and a lesson learned. Hey!